जयकार मैया तेरी जय जयकार मैया तेरी जय जयकार मैया तेरी जय जयकार
Sitaram Om Shakti. This is the one and the only Shakti Fridays with Justin D. Anthony. I want to say it is a pleasure and honor to have you locked on as we play the songs of the Divine Devi and we bring you teachings of the Divine Mother on this very auspicious Friday morning. On today's Shakti Fridays, we'll be focusing our discourse on trance and manifestation, addressing various questions on trance and manifestations in Shakti worship. While previously I did a program in relation to manifestation and trance, of course that video did not address every single aspect. So in this video, this is a part 2 in the discussion of trance and manifestation. And it is an expansion on our prior discourse done, months and months ago. So do me one favor in the first place. Share this link across your Facebook as we speak today about trance and manifestation in Shakti worship. What it takes to do a proper manifestation. What are some of the ways to identify if a manifestation is flawed? And later on, of course, in the program, I will discuss a little story about trance and manifestation from a devotee. So do me one favor, share this link across your Facebook. I want to begin in the first place additionally by saying Sitaram and Pranam to my sister Vani. I want to say Sitaram and Pranam to Vidya Asha Devi. I want to say Sitaram and Pranam to my Pua Nita Jitu. I want to say Sitaram and Pranam to Devi Manohar. I want to say Sitaram, Pranam and blessings to my grandpa Beta and grandma Chitra, listening in Letty Kenny, that is in Guyana. I want to say Pranam and good morning to Nadia Singh and Ravi Singh. I wish to take this opportunity to say, broadly speaking, Pranam and Sitaram Vanakam to all those watching in Trinidad and Tobago, Guyana, Suriname, the various Caribbean islands. I want to say Sitaram and Pranam too. All those watching in the United States of America, Canada, South Africa, the Mauritius, Fiji and elsewhere, wherever you're locking in from, may the Divine Devi work a miracle in your life today.
Om Sri Mahagange Mata Devi Sureshwari Sharanam Sharanam Taye Amma Paramparo Gangaya Mataye Gangaya Mataye Orevare Amma Gangaya Ma Sasti
to say Sitaram and Pranam to all the devotees of the Sri Ma Kali Durga Mandir, located at 9266 Springfield Boulevard in Queens Village, New York. In particular, I want to extend greetings and say Pranam to Jerry Kabardas G2 and Grandma Rose. I want to say Pranam to Monica G. Rupnarayan as well. So as we begin our discourse for today, speaking further on trance and manifestation in Shakti worship today. For everyone to have the understanding, because of course many people watch this program and they, in their life, they've never attended a Shakti temple or a Kali temple. So they are not quite familiar with what I'm speaking about when I say the word manifestation or I say the word trance. So to provide a definition of what is manifestation or trance, it is when you take the various spiritual drums, you beat the various spiritual drums, for example, in this case we're talking about the tapu and etc. And we call up on the energy, the divine energy, to provide messages that relate to a person's life messages, to provide healing, or in other terms, we invoke the energy of the Divine Mother or whatever deity it is to provide oracle. And the word oracle is most appropriate because oracle means you're providing future messages, you're providing prophecy, you're providing advice. And all of this is done by calling up on that energy to take that human form. That is, you call up, play the various spiritual drums so that the divine energy may come on the body of a human to provide such messages and such healing. In simple words, it's basically the human form of an oracle. But in the world that we live in today, 95% of trances and manifestations are not valid. And that is controversial for me to say and to make such a statement publicly. But in Shakti worship today, whether that is in Guyana, Suriname, the United States, Canada, or wherever else, Shakti worship is performed and done, 95% of the manifestations or trances that we see today are invalid. Why is that though? There are two reasons why, in very simple terms. Either the energy that has been brought on the individual is either an entity such as a Dutch, or it might be a ghost or spirit or something like that. Or alternatively, the individual is manifesting such a low level of that deity or devi that their manifestation is not reliable, it is not valid. So 95%, I would estimate, of manifestations and trances today are false, or not genuine, to put it more softly. Very, very few individuals have the capacity to manifest the divine energy correctly and to that level of 100%, to that level of 99%. But as we go along in the program, we will discuss further on this. We will discuss what it really takes for an individual to do a proper trance and manifestation. How does a person get to that stage? where they may manifest the energy of the Divine Mother or a deity. What does it really take? What is the time length required? Is it just simply a question of, oh, one day I'll go to temple and one day I will throw one drink and one smoke to, Byro or whatever. And then all of a sudden I'm manifesting the divine energy of Kalbyro. I come one time to temple and I throw one drink and smoke and magically now, oh, I'm manifesting the energy of Kalbyro Baba. Does it happen like that? What does it really take for a person to manifest the divine energy correctly, properly, and fully? Later on in the discourse, we'll discuss that. But for now, this is a song in glorification of Mariam. I want to say good morning and pranam to Baby Chandra. Baby Chandra would like to extend birthday greetings to her son who is turning 18. So may the Divine Devi bless him profoundly. I want to say pranam to Devi Ram. I want to say pranam and good morning to Cindy Sukram. Additionally, I want to say pranam to Ula Ramnarayan. I want to say pranam and good morning to Shirley Herprasad from Trinidad and Tobago. So as we continue onwards with our discourse for today, speaking about and expanding our discussion on trance and manifestation in Shakti worship, it comes to the question of what does it take for an individual to get to the point where they can do a reliable and proper trance or manifestation? What is required? What does it take? What is the process involved? What I observe in Shakti worship today is people come one week to temple. They come for a few weeks to temple. And all of a sudden, they're manifesting this energy, that energy. They have never done worship before. And all of a sudden, miraculously, they're now manifesting the energy of this Devi and that Devata. They're being called upon to heal people and etc. But is that possible? Is that even valid? Can a person go into temple, worship for a couple of weeks, and then all of a sudden begin manifesting? Validly, that is. When it comes to doing a proper trance or manifestation, regardless if you're born with all these different energies. For example, some people are born with the capacity to manifest different energies. They are linked with certain Devis and Devatas. And it is the purpose of their life to manifest these energies. Even for those individuals, they have to do worship for years and years to get to the stage where they can do a proper trance and proper manifestation. So, you must do worship for years and years consistently to get to the stage where you can manifest the Divine Mother or whatever deity it is properly and correctly. For years and years, you have to do worship. You have to imbibe that energy into you. You have to do so much fasting. You have to do so many sacrifices and consistently feed these Devis and Devatas with offerings. From sada, for example, fruits and sweet rice. From doing lots of japa. Thousands and thousands and thousands of japa. You have to give for certain gods. You have to give them smoke and drink. For others, you have to give them wine. You have to do worship for a long period of time. Make sacrifices for a long period of time before you have the capacity to manifest the divine energy or do a trance properly. So this overnight phenomenon, this little overnight phenomenon we see, a person has never done worship before. And they come to temple a couple of weeks and then they start calling up on that person. Those are not valid manifestations. I don't know who's kidding them or who's fooling them or whatever the case may be. I don't quite understand it. But those cannot be valid manifestations. Those cannot be accurate manifestations. then we have a phenomenon. There is a phenomenon now where people want to prematurely force themselves to manifest. They want to push themselves to manifest. But I am speaking specifically about people who want to manifest, not because they want to help people and everything, but rather they want to manifest because they want to show power. They want to show big power. They want to hold the cane in their hand and they want to show everybody in the temple that, okay, I'm a big devotee, I'm a strong devotee. That, oh, the Divine Mother is on me. Let me show you guys that I'm the big devotee here. This is how some people think, you know. In today's Shakti worship, they want to manifest Mother or they want to manifest Baba or whatever deity. Not because they want to help people and, you know, they want to provide healing to people, but with the end goal of an egotistical end. They want to show everybody, oh, they're a big devotee, they're a strong devotee. Those people who do these things, they do not manifest the Divine Mother's energy. When you use egotistical reasons as your end goal for manifesting, Mother and Master don't come on you. But rather, Mother and Master will Mother and Master will make you into a fool. This is how Mother and Master work. They don't want the individual to use their name, use their image for egotistical, self-interested ways. The minute you start taking that road, the minute you're on that road, you better understand you will be a fool in the eyes of people. Right? So you cannot force your way to manifest with an egotistical end. Because you will be made into a fool. And many people today, male and female, because you see, I'm a fair person. I talk about, if I'm going to talk about the females, I'm also going to talk about the men as well. A lot of them, they want to manifest for egotistical purposes. And that is why in present day Shakti worship, a lot of them are made into a fool. The way that they're manifesting, almost like a little clown and like a joke. Yelling and screaming and talking all kind of nonsense. You see, the divine energies are making them look like that. Because they believe they can use Mother, Master and these deities to hurt people through egotistical ways. Well, Mother and Master don't work like that. Thirdly, as we speak, when it comes to manifestation and trance, if it is your goal, if it is your desire in life, that you know what, I love Mother and Master so much, I enjoy, Shakti worship so much, and in my heart, it is my desire to manifest one day, to manifest the energy one day, and just to help people. I don't want money, I don't want fame, but I want the capacity to manifest the divine energy so I can help somebody in life. That Mother and Master has helped me, has guided me so much in life. And I desire to give back to the Mother and the Master by manifesting their energy for the purpose of helping someone. When it comes to people like that, they can manifest the divine energy. They will be more receptive to and be more suitable to manifest the divine energy. However, they should remember that There is no need to rush things. There is no need to prematurely force anything. Worship. Believe in the deities. Feed the Devis and Devatas by your offerings. For example, your rum and cigarette, your sweet rice, your various fruits. If you have yearly pujas, feed the Devis and Devatas to the grandest when you're doing your yearly pujas. Do that. And one day, when the time is right, you will manifest the energy properly and correctly. So for those who want to manifest for the purposes of for good reasons, they want to help people, and Mother and Masters help them. So as a way to give back, they want to manifest, they want to do trance. All you need to do is just worship sincerely. Worship sincerely. And also to be the good person. Be that loving, caring, that very, free-handed person. Because as it applies to Mother and Master and these deities, they do not come on the bodies of individuals who are nasty. People, the type of people, they're nasty. They will insult you to your face. They will tell you all sorts of things. And they have big abhiman. They have abhiman to the highest. And they think they're the big devotee. They believe they're the big devotee, Those people, I want to tell you today, those people do not manifest and will never manifest the Divine Mother or the Divine Father or Master. Mother and Master do not come on the body of an individual who is nasty to her children. When you like to insult people, when you like to hurt people, when you like to cheat people and rob people, Mother and Master can never come on your body. They won't come on your body. People are gonna say whatever, this person is doing worship, this person is doing puja, this person is doing this and that. But when you're a nasty person, whether you're a nasty man or a nasty woman, and the way that you treat people, no deity will come on your body. Remember one aspect, remember one thing I will tell you today. The Divine Mother of Kali has taken a green form called Matangi. And when Matangi Ma in her festival manifests on the body of people, when Mother Matangi manifests and comes up in her festival, she looks for all the egotistical devotees, all the people with big abhiman and all the nasty people that think that money make them better than everyone and everything. Mother Matangi manifests on humans, goes up to these egotistical people, and Mother Matangi challenges them. In some cases, the Divine Mother, Mother Matangi, manifests on the body of a person, will go up to these people and she will spit in their face. That is crazy for me to say. But you see, when it comes to Matangi Ma, she doesn't like ego. That's a form of Kali. She doesn't like ego. That's the point I want to tell you today and suggest you in saying this is the Divine Mother, the same one that we're praying to, Kali, whatever form it is, she scorns when people are egotistical. She hates when people, hurt others and think they're better than people. She hates it to the highest. Even to the extent where she would manifest and spit in the face of an egotistical person. Right? So the point I want you to draw from all of this and say is, you want to manifest Mother, or Baba. You You have to be a person who who holds the qualities of modern master. You have to be a charitable person. You have to be a free-handed person. You have to be a person that is good to everyone. You can't be a discriminatory person. I like this one here, but I don't like that one there because that person over there is black. You have to cultivate and sculpt yourself in a way where you are a good person. And if you are a good person and you do the worship as I've told you, you worship and worship and worship, modern master will come on you one day. And when that manifestation of trance has to come on you, it will be a valid one. It will be a powerful one. It will be an effective one. And that's what you want. I do not understand this whole phenomenon I see today in Shakti worship. Why do people want to force themselves to manifest? They force themselves to manifest and they provide lies to people. When they manifest, they're providing lies to people. They're corrupting people's lives in that state of manifestation. They're telling people all sorts of things that are not true and confusing devotees. Why would you ever want to do that? Why would you want yourself to become a part of that? That because you're not properly manifesting now, you have corrupted someone's life. You have caused confusion in someone's life. You have caused problems in someone's life. You have caused tears to flow from someone's eyes. Right? So this whole phenomenon where people are forcing themselves to manifest, it doesn't work like that. You'll cause more harm than good. So when it comes to manifestation and trance, let me come back to my discourse. If you worship, you feed your devis and devatas through offerings, you aspire to be that good person every single day of your life. You will manifest the devi or devata. I can't give you a timeline. I can't tell you it'll take 1 year, 2 years, 3 years. But what I know, what I can tell you with certainty is, if you're a good-hearted person and you're doing your worship, you're doing your pujas and everything, and you desire to manifest, you desire to trance, there is no reason why Modern Master won't come to you when the time is right. But it's a question of patience. Be patient. And let it come when the time is right, and let it come in the proper way.
वैष्णव जन तो तेने कहिए जे पीर पराई जाने रे वैष्णव जन तो तेने कहिए जे पीर पराई जाने रे वैष्णव जन तो तेने कहिए जे पीर पराई जाने रे पर दुखे उपकार करे तोए मन अभिमान रे वैष्णव जन तो तेने कहिए जे पीर पराई जाने रे सकल लोक मां सहुणे वंदे निंदा न करे तेरी रे सकल
समदृष्टीने तृष्णा जागी पर स्त्री जेने मातुरे समदृष्टीने तृष्णा जागी पर स्त्री जेने मातुरे जीवात की असजन बोले पर धन नव जल हाथ रे वैष्णव जन तो तेने कही जे पीर पराई जान रे.
I want to say pranam to Usha Sicharan Golin. I want to say pranam once again to Vidya Asha Devi. I want to say good morning and pranam to Devika Mahabir and family as well. I want to say good morning and Vanakam to Anjani Singh as well as Kushmalal. So now, let us address one question that we see in Shakti worship today. When a Dutch manifests, can we trust it? When a Dutch entity chooses to go on the body of a human, should we trust it? Because in many temples today, the Dutch come up and wish to speak to devotees, and I don't know what kind of messages they want to provide or what is their motivation. However, there's a phenomenon in many temples where the Dutch come up on an individual. But is that valid? Can that be trusted? If a person manifests, I want to let me pedal back a little bit. I want you to listen to my question very, very, very carefully. And I want you to think about what I'm about to ask. If an individual who manifests different energies, they take the camphor in their mouth, they light it and they put it on their tongue. If an individual like that can do that and say they are a Devi or Devata, and when the Dutch come, they do the same exact thing or something similar, how can you trust the manifestation of that individual? Right? Let's think about this I want you to think about this. Think about this very in depth. If a person can manifest, they can take camphor and they can put it on tongue and etc. and claim their mother or master. And by the same token, they can take a camphor, put it on their tongue and whatever, and then bring up Dutch. Can you trust that person manifestation? Because isn't it true? If you think about something, the Dutch, those are lower beings. Those are not divine beings that they have to tell you the truth and everything. Those are basically spirits, if you really think about it. The Dutch, they're just spirits. At the end of the day, they have certain powers, like a spirit. They have certain powers, they can cause certain physical effects. They can cause confusion. They can find out certain things about people. They can read into you a little to some extent about your character, about what is happening in your life. They can cause physical effects. That is, they can cause confusion in people's homes. Some of them can, if they're on the body of a human being, they can cause a person to start becoming excessively fat. The person is consuming their normal amount of food. For some reason, they're becoming extremely fat, obese, and they have no medical reason. It could be because of a Dutch. But I want to tell you today, if a person manifests mother or master, and they all, with the whole camphor situation, and they can also manifest the Dutch with the whole camphor situation too, can you really trust them? Can you? Because what's to say that they can be in the state of having the Dutch on them? Take the camphor and say their mother or master. This is where the danger comes about. Because remember, the Dutch are not a divine energy. Who are they accountable to? Whoever feeds them, whoever treats them nice, that's who they like, and that who they will act in favor for. They're not God, where they have standards of right and wrong. So how can you trust a Dutch? Oh yeah, the Dutch can tell me. You know, some devotees say, oh yeah, the Dutch will tell me the truth. Yeah, the Dutch can tell you the truth. Because the Dutch is a spirit, and spirits have the ability to read into a little bit of your life. If you stand before a Dutch entity and you're thinking something, they can mind read. So yeah, they can tell you some true aspects. They can tell you some true aspects, but are they to be trusted? No, of course not. So when it comes to you as a devotee, I want to tell you, in whatever temple you go to and whatever, where you go to do worship, and there is an individual who manifests Dutch, I'm advising you as a brother. I'm advising you as a nephew. I'm advising you as a person who cares for you. Please, do not seek advice from the Dutch. Do not believe, put your faith and trust in the Dutch. If they were to come up in a temple or whatever, please, do not do this yourself harm. I'm saying this to you as a brother. I'm saying this to you as a son, as a nephew, as a spiritual person, so that you don't get hurt. Because you see, these Dutch entities are not accountable to anybody. You treat them nice, they will act for you. If someone comes along and treats them nice, they will act for them. They're not reliable. But they do have certain powers. It comes to one question too. For many people's homes, where they reside, there are Dutches. For example, there are Dutch entities on certain people's homes, and those Dutch entities sometimes cause conflict and confusion and problems. But should the devotee go to the extent of feeding those Dutch? Or should the devotee seek advice from a devi or devata that can give them something, maybe something for them to clean up their yard or whatever, that can remove the Dutch entity, can destroy the Dutch entity? What should they do in this circumstance? Should they feed the Dutch, or should they have the devi or devata give them something to destroy those entities on their property? What should they do? You should always go the route of go to the mother or the master and for them to give you something and remove those entities from your house or your land. And mother and master have those powers. The goddess of Kateri, is the one who is an exorcist, who deals with spirits and evil entities and all these sorts of beings. She can give you something to destroy those entities on your land. Or whatever master, whatever else deity can come up and do that for you. You should always go in the direction of not involving yourself in feeding Dutch. If you have the issue in your land with Dutch, do not go to the level of feeding Dutch and doing all sorts of table work and all these nonsense that people are doing. And the reason why I say this, there is a very, very important and grave reason I want you to understand. You see, when you use these Dutch entities, you start to feed them on your property. For example, you want to acquire wealth. Let's say you want to gain prosperity and wealth. If you feed these Dutch entities, and they're helping to bring in wealth into your life and success and all these opportunities of wealth, you know what will happen to you one day? And this is what a lot of people in Shakti worship don't know. When you feed these Dutch entities for the purposes of using them, when you die, you will become their servant. Every spirit that you use, if that's a Dutch or whatever it is, when you die, you don't go any good place. You will go back to that spirit and you'll be a servant. Just like a waiter, you will be for that spirit. And what I'm telling you here today, lots of people in Shakti worship do not know. But I'm providing you all these lessons, I'm providing you all these messages for you to have the understanding. So you don't go in the wrong direction. Do not ever think of using Dutch to turn rich. Don't ever think that you're going to use Dutch to become big in life and everything. Because where you're going to end up to, you're going to regret for thousands and thousands of years. You use the Dutch or any spirit for gains. You become a servant of these spirits. For how long? I don't know. Sometimes thousands and thousands of years. You become a servant under these spirits. And you have to beg to God for Shiva and etc. For years and years you have to beg and beg when you're dead to come out of that state of becoming a servant of that spirit. So what I'm telling you here today, I'm trying to give you warnings and advice so you don't end up like this. People use, they're worshipping Dutch to turn rich in life. Yeah, you're turning rich in this life. And in the next life that follows, you're like a waiter. You know the waiter that has to bring you little drinks and has to be nice to the people? You end up like that state. What kind of happiness is that state? What kind of afterlife are you putting for yourself? In Shakti worship, there are aspects where we acknowledge and where we provide certain offerings to the Dutch. But those are done under certain contexts for certain reasons. When it comes to your home, your land, please do not involve yourself in these things. Get the deity, the devi or whatever, to give you something to remove these entities. And let me tell you something too. Let me tell you something about when you use Dutch for material gains, when you use Dutch for wealth and prosperity. You're feeding the Dutch with rum and cigarette and everything. And everything's working good, everything's working nice. Oh, the Dutch are helping me in life, and oh my God, I'm getting rich, and oh, I can buy that BMW, you know, that nice BMW, you know, that nice, Toyota Land Cruiser, the Prado. I can buy a nice Land Cruiser, a nice black Land Cruiser, and I drive down, I drive down the street, and everybody's looking at me, and everybody says, "Wow, look at my vehicle." When you gain material things from the Dutch, when you gain wealth from the Dutch, just remember, your state of prosperity is in question. Your state of prosperity will always be in question. Because you see these Dutch entities, if someone else goes and messes with them, if someone else goes and decides to feed them better, they will leave you and they will start causing harm. They can start causing harm in your life. So all that prosperity can go like this if someone else steps in and stops the whole process. Also, right, you're feeding Dutch. Those are just spirits. Those are just spirits. If there is an individual out there and they know their various, spiritual works and everything, and they know you're using Dutch to gain prosperity in life, they can use some mantras. They can do a little quick mantra, and they can destroy all those Dutch entities. So you see, when you're using Dutch for material gains, when you're using Dutch for money and wealth, that is in question. There is uncertainty when it comes to those things. Because there can be any person out there that knows their little mantras and little stuff. They can put a stop to all of that nonsense. Just like that. You have Dutch on your yard and you're feeding them and turning rich. As a person who knows their little spiritual works, they can come and they can destroy all those Dutch. So you're feeding the Dutch. And now things are not working. Oh my God, things are not working in my life now. Yeah, because you got played. You got played in your circumstance. Before you take rum and cigarette and offerings and you give it to the Dutch, and you don't know how long that Dutch will benefit you, take the same offering, the same rum and cigarette or whatever else you give it, and give it to a God. Give it to a deity. Because when Mother or Master blesses you, no man or woman in this world can take it away from you. But if a Dutch gives you benefits, just know those benefits are in question. And any man who knows their little mantras and whatever, they can put a stop to all that nonsense just like that. You see, when people are using spirits, they're using spirits and doing magical stuff, and they're trying to heal people and trying to fool people. When they're using spirits for those things, and you have a spiritual person that goes near them, if you have a spiritual person that goes near a person like that, that's using spirits or whatever, as soon as that spiritual person goes next to them, all of their magical nonsense comes to a stop. You see, Auntie Obia lady and Uncle Obia person, they think that oh, they're so powerful and so great, that oh, they may use spirits and they do all kind of fancy magic and all that. Those people are just a bunch of fools. A bunch of fools and a bunch of leeches of the society. Fooling people, yes, but using spirits to fool people with all kind of magic and all kind of nonsense. When a real spiritual person has to come near any of them, Auntie Obia lady and Uncle Obia man, all those magical stuff that they do comes to an end. Because you see, a spiritual person, they have devis and devatas that surround them everywhere they go. And you see people who play with spirits and everything. The minute the spiritual person steps beside them, all their spirits and everything run away. All the spirits that they're using for all these things, they stop. They have to run. So let me just give you a piece of advice there in saying all of this. Don't go in the direction of Auntie Obia lady and Uncle Obia man. Because you'll get burned. And don't support their stupidity and the nonsense that they do. In Guyana, Suriname, Trinidad and Tobago, Canada, and the United States, you have a lot of these fools, a lot of these leeches. Don't support these people. Don't support the stupidity that they're doing. And just know, if you're gaining benefits from one of them, just know those benefits are not gonna last. Because those people use spirits and evil entities to do all these things. Those things are not certain, and those things will never last. So don't go in that extent. I can say this because so many people in this world today, so many people, innocent people, they go to these people and they get burned. They go to Auntie Obia lady, oh Auntie Obia lady and Uncle Obia man, and they get burned. You should always go the divine route. Don't go these Obia people and all these mad people. They belong in the prison. They belong in solitary confinement for the nonsense that they do and how they fool people and leech off of people. Always go. The point I want to leave with you in saying this, always go the divine route. You have problems in life, you pray for Mother or Master. You have problems in life, you pray for Lord Shiva. You pray to the godly side. Because when that side helps you, when that side blesses you, no one in this world can take it away from you. If God blesses you with a child today, and God says to you, you are destined to have a child for the rest of your lifetime, no man or woman can take that from you. If God blesses you today with health and strength and the ability to gain wealth, and God wants you today to make money, to be successful, no man or woman can take that away from you. If God does it, if Mother, Master, Shiva, or whatever deity it is, they can't take it away from you. But when you go in the route of spirit and Obia people, just know your prosperity will come to an end very soon. I want to say pranam to Stephanie, Shirley Harprasad, Yash Prasad, Soni Ganpat. I want to say pranam to Savitri Lokman, Ann Trotz. And you know something, my friends? This is a very, very simple thing. You know, in the same way people believe in Obia man and Obia lady, in the same way people make themselves such a big fool and believe so much in the Obia man and the Obia lady, if they took the same belief and they believed in Mother and Master, you know how much their life could be better? But people choose to place their belief in these false characters. Auntie Obia lady, oh Auntie Obia lady, you go help me? And then I go to them people and say, oh, you go help me turn rich? Oh, Auntie Obia lady, you go help me turn rich? And they go to the Obia man and say, oh, Uncle Obia man, you go help me turn rich? Oh yeah, you go help me turn more better than everybody. If you believe in the same way you believe in the Obia people, in the deity, your life will change and no one can take it away from you. You just have to believe in the divine side. You have to believe in the Mother and the Master. In that same way, that same strong way, you can see great things happen in your life. I want to say pranam and good morning to Kamla Badrasan. If I happen to miss anyone's name or greeting, I do humbly apologize. I want you to know that I appreciate you tuning in, sharing. And if I happen to miss your greeting, kindly rewrite your greeting so I may air it. I want to take this opportunity to say pranam and good morning to Radha Dippo, Pinky Ramsundar, Sheldon Kasundial, Soma Ramnath, Sadna Suku, Monica Pasad, Jean Laman, Eva Morgeson, Golan, Evelyn Ramcharan, Kush Malal, Anjani Singh, Sherry Chowti, Sherry Ramcharan and family from Trinidad and Tobago. I want to say pranam to Sharita Bash, Savitri Lokman, my sister Vanny and Pua Anita Jitu, and my Queen's Village family. I want to say pranam to all the devotees of the Sri Mahakali Durga Mandir as well. I want to say pranam to Destiny Marie, Ariana Mohan Singh from Living My Best Life on YouTube, Pinky Sugrim, and so many others locked on as well.
तुम ही हो नैया, तुम ही केवैया, तुम ही हो बंधु सखा, तुम ही हो माँ। जय जय माँ देवी माँ, जय माँ दुर्गा माँ। जो क्यों सके ना वो फूला हम है, तुम्हारी चरणों के धूल हम है माँ। जो क्यों सके ना वो फूला हम है, तुम्हारी चरणों के धूल हम है माँ। दया की दृष्टि सदा के रखना, तुम ही हो बंधु सखा, तुम ही हो माँ। जय जय माँ देवी माँ, जय माँ दुर्गा माँ। तुम ही हो साथी, तुम ही सहारे, कोई ना अपना सेवा तुम्हारी माँ। तुम ही हो साथी, तुम ही सहारे, कोई ना अपना सेवा तुम्हारी माँ।
I want to say good morning and pranam to Rita Albert. So as I try to, bring a conclusion to this discourse on trance and manifestation in Shakti worship today, as I promise, what is one way or mechanism of determining if a trance or manifestation is real? Or I should say alternatively, what is a manifestation you should stay away from, far, far away from? When you're in the temple and you see that a person has to consume limes before they manifest. They have to take 3 limes and eat it before they go to manifest. That is a manifestation you need to stay far, far away from. Let me repeat myself. The manifestation you should run away from, you should stay away from. Whenever you see an individual has to consume 3 limes or how many limes before they call upon that individual, that is a manifestation or trance you should run away from. Because that manifestation is not valid. The individual has to take in the lime as a way to kind of cleanse their body internally, because they have not done the proper fasting. But mother and master have to come on the individual because maybe that's the only person available. So they give them the lime so that they can come to some level on the person's body to provide a message or two and leave. But whenever you see in Shakti temple and in temple, you see manifestation takes the lime and eats it. You see that person who's supposed to manifest take lime and eat it. Or even while the manifestation is there, they're eating limes. Do not trust that manifestation. Know that that manifestation is unreliable. And the advice you obtain from that manifestation cannot be valid. Largely speaking, that cannot be valid. because the individual has not fasted. They have ate something, they have had some contaminants, and mother and master cannot come to full level on them. Right, so all these little points, I try to give you, I try to, demonstrate and try to, illuminate on this program. They're all with the end goal of making you an informed devotee. And most importantly, I don't want to see or hear from anyone through a little story or whatever. You get burned, you get hurt, you get confused because of a manifestation. Right, this program is here to provide you with the information that you need so that you can navigate Shakti worship. You can be an informed person, and no one has to burn you, no one has to fool you. You know how to identify what is a proper manifestation. You know which manifestation you should run, you should hide from. So as we are about to close this program, I will share a little story as it relates to trance and manifestation. And this is a little story from South Africa. In South Africa, there was a young man, and his life was going relatively well, his life was going relatively good. He was working and, he was accumulating wealth, and everything in his life was going very, very well. All of a sudden, he started to face these severe obstacles, these severe downfalls in life. A lot of bad things started happening. So he sought advice from a pundit. The pundit told him, some graha, so he did some graha puja and etc. But there was no change for him. He faced some downfalls, some sickness, so he went to a medical doctor. They did a whole set of tests, various blood work and urine samples and everything. But they weren't able to find anything medically wrong. So now this individual is in the state of confusion. He has gone to pundits because he's facing all these different downfalls in life. He has gone to seek medical advice from doctors, and they can't find anything medically wrong. So why is he facing all these obstructions, all these downfalls, all these sickness, all these ailments right now? There is no valid reason why this is happening to him. He doesn't know where to turn. The pundits can't help him. The medical doctors can't help him. So who will help him? Who can help him in his circumstances that are becoming increasingly dire? He ends up for the first time in his life going to one of these temples, Shakti temples. When he goes into the temple, there are people manifesting different energies. But when he goes into the temple, something happens. When he goes into the temple, there is an individual who begins to manifest. The individual goes to Durga Ma, takes the cane and begins to manifest the energy of Durga Devi. The manifestation of Durga Ma comes up to this young man and says, "My child, everything in your life is going wrong. You go to the doctor and you cannot find what is wrong. You go to the pundit and the parohit. They cannot find what is wrong. But my child, I want to tell you today, something was done when you were a young baby. When you were just a baby, something was done. And that is the reason why today you are in all these dire circumstances. You are in the state of sickness. The divine Devi Durga tells him, when you were a baby, you were very, very, very sick. And your grandfather, who has now passed away, your grandfather took you in his arms and placed it before me, Durga Ma, and said, "O Durga Devi, save my grandson. Save my grandson. Today I come to your feet and I ask you to save my grandson. That I will always perform Durga Puja. That Durga Puja, if you save my grandson, we will always perform Durga Puja for the family." And that years and years ago, your grandfather stood in front of my murti and made a promise that every year there would be a Durga Puja done. And your grandfather has long passed away, and there is no Durga Puja being done in the family anymore. That is why today, my child, you are sick. You are in this state. Because a promise was made, but a promise was not kept. In fact, you lived your entire life to this point, and they kept it a secret from you. They never told you one day you had to do Durga Puja. They never told you that this Devi saved you. They kept you in the dark. And today the darkness has manifested in the form of your sickness, in the form of all these calamities you're facing in life. So the divine Devi tells this young man, do your Durga Puja, and as soon as you're done your Durga Puja, all the sickness, all the issues will go away. So the young man goes on, he does his Durga Puja, and as soon as he's done the puja for the Divine Mother Durga, all his sickness is released. He feels like a stone that was on his back has been taken off. And his life is now in a clear state. Everything is working well in his life. Everything's going well in his life. But this story brings me to one lesson. It brings me to one lesson that I observe and I see in today's world. Whatever form of Hindu spirituality a family does, for example, if they do Hanuman Puja every year, if they are, for the purpose of the family, they have a yearly puja in a Shakti temple or whatever it is, you cannot keep these things secretive. Rather, you have to pass on all this knowledge to the other generations coming about. Because many old people today, they used to do things in secret, and they never passed down the knowledge of Hindu practices done for the family purposes. And what happens? This new generation now suffers tremendously. This new generation is in confusion. But who is to blame? You know who is to blame? The old people. They never passed down this knowledge. They never emphasized the message of knowing what to do, how to do it, and the importance of all these different pujas, the importance of all these different rituals. They let everyone go in the darkness, operate in the state of darkness. So the point I want to leave with you as a lesson today in this story with the devotee and Durga Ma as a manifestation. As you have life today, teach your children Hindu spirituality. If you have yearly pujas that have to be done in Shakti temple, involve your children in it. Have them understand the purposes of this puja. Do not keep everything secretive and in the dark, because one day you will leave this earth, and what will happen to all of them? This whole old thinking that, oh, we have to keep everything secretive and we can't tell anyone what we're practicing. That is the reason why many young people today, their lives are spiritually in a mess. Because they are in the state of ignorance. And only knowledge can remove ignorance. So today, I'm speaking to the older community today. Today, as you have life today, inform, teach the younger generation the methodologies, the pujas that have to be done for the family. Whatever yearly pujas have to be continued, have to be done. Whatever animal sacrifice has to be done. Teach them today and illuminate their lives today. Do not be to blame for the darkness that will come if these things are not continued onwards. So that is my lesson to you today, my friends. This has been an in-depth discussion on trance and manifestation in Shakti worship. As I say this today, my friends, I'm taking my leave. Sitaram Om Shakti, until we meet again on Sunday morning at 9:30. May the Divine Devi who is Kali, may the Divine Devi who is Durga bless all of you in an incredible, special, and transformative way. Have a blessed weekend ahead, my friends.
నరసింహని దివ్య నామ మంత్రము చేత దురిత జలములేల ధోలవచ్చు నరసింహని దివ్య నామ మంత్రము చేత బలువైన రోగములు ఆపవచ్చు నరసింహని దివ్య నామ మంత్రము చేత రిపు సంగములు సంహరింపవచ్చు నరసింహని దివ్య నామ మంత్రము చేత దందాస్తుని బంధం ధరమువచ్చు బైరనీనే మహామంత్ర బలము చేత దివ్య వైకుంఠ పాదవీస దింపవచ్చు భూషణ వికాస శ్రీధర్మాపుర నివాస దుస్త సంహార నరసింహ దురతి ధోరా గోవింద గోవింద లక్ష్మీ నరసింహ లక్ష్మీ నరసింహ గోవింద గోవింద లక్ష్మీ నరసింహ గోవింద గోవింద లక్ష్మీ నరసింహ లక్ష్మీ నరసింహ గోవింద గోవింద లక్ష్మీ నరసింహ గోవింద గోవింద లక్ష్మీ నరసింహ లక్ష్మీ నరసింహ గోవింద గోవింద లక్ష్మీ నరసింహ గోవింద గోవింద లక్ష్మీ నరసింహ లక్ష్మీ నరసింహ గోవింద గోవింద లక్ష్మీ నరసింహ భక్తవాత్సల జనగోపాల గోవింద గోవింద నరసింహ దేవ భక్తవాత్సల
Before I leave, I want to say pranam and good morning to Deepa Tiwari. Once again, my friends, until we meet again, have a blessed weekend ahead.
ನಾರಾಯಣ ನಮಿತಿ ಹರಿ ಗೋವಿಂದ ನಾರಾಯಣ ನಮಿತಿ 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 ನಾರಾಯಣ ನಮಿತಿ ಹರಿ ಪಾಂಡುರಂಗ ನಾರಾಯಣ ನಮಿತಿ ನಾರಾಯಣ ನಮಿತಿ ಹರಿ ಗೋವಿಂದ ನಾರಾಯಣ ನಮಿತಿ ನರಸಿಂಹ ದೇವ ಹರಿ ನಾರಾಯಣ